Yo guys, what is up? Max in a Borderlands 4 video, and today is probably the biggest update that we've had to Borderlands 4 since launch. This introduces Bloomreaper, the new endgame invincible raid boss, and UVH6. Now, I've skimmed through the very top of the first two paragraphs, and things are looking insane. I stopped myself though because I wanted to kind of read and live react to it for the rest of the patch notes. So I hope you guys enjoy the breakdown. Let's get right into it. So to start, Bloomreaper is live. It's free for all players. It looks like it features a mobbing section prior to the boss and then the boss itself. I'm going to have a separate video covering the fight, but let's go through these patch notes. So we've got Bloomreaper, True Mode, and Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, little spoiler, with a bunch of improvements. So Bloomreaper the Invincible is live. This introduces 9 new legendaries you can farm as dedicated drops. They originally said 5, so now we're up to 9, which is sick. 5 new pieces of gear and 4 new class mods. This is what I was really hoping for. Class mods add more to the game and more build diversity, more creativity than a weapon could. So super excited that they decided to go with class mods on this. I was really hoping we were going to get class mods. They're also doing something very different and new for this raid boss, which is they're introducing a timer for your raid run. So depending on how fast you kill the boss, the chest at the end will scale to your clear time. So if you do it quickly, you can earn up to platinum tier rewards, which means you're going to get better loot from your chest. And for example, the new Rainmaker Ripper sniper rifle is a guaranteed drop from platinum tier. So I really like this. Some people might not. Basically incentivizes you not only to be able to kill the boss, but to be able to do it quickly and efficiently. So you've got more incentive to work on your build and perfect your runs, which I think is really cool. And there'll be a little bit of competitiveness with it as well, which is cool. So we've got the new arena, Bloomreaper, and new legendary gear, the Rainmaker Ripper sniper rifle, Mantra Malawan shotgun. This is supposedly the face puncher. New shield. Hopefully it can keep up with the Watts for dinner. New TDR ordnance, the Urchin Jet Setter Ripper ordnance, the Misericorde Siren class mod, Overdriver for Rafa, Trooper for Harlow, and the Lamplighter for Amon. Once again, I'll have videos covering all of these once I farm them. We're going to be live on stream, basically farming all day. Quickly interjecting after recording this video to actually go and fight Bloomreaper, I traveled to Carcadia. I believe you can go to any major faction town and then just go to the bounty board, and then you should be able to find on the bounty board the quest to travel to Bloomreaper, and the Bloomreaper fight is also in Carcadia in the Tonnage Peel. Just down here, there's a level transition to go to the Bloom. Then we get something that I was not expecting. I wasn't expecting this until 2026, so crazy that they got it done. Super happy about this. They are introducing True Mode. Now, they explain what True Mode is here, but basically this is something that they introduced later on into Borderlands 3's lifespan that allows you to amp up the difficulty. If you were frustrated with Borderlands 4 being too easy, try out True Mode. True Mode scales all enemies as if you were playing in a 4-player party, regardless of your current party size. So that means there's going to be tougher enemies to take down. There's going to be more enemies. So there's scaling the amount of enemies. So you're going to have more mob size, more enemies to fight, and there'll be more elites among the ranks. So just everything is going to be ramped up. Bosses will scale their health to 4 players. It should really put builds to the test. That plus the launch of UVH6 means that Borderlands 4 is about to get way more difficult, which I really, really love. Then we get to Ultimate Vault Hunter 6. So they added support for UVH6. There's a new UVH challenge, and there's a new firmware on UVH6, which I was also hoping for. In addition to all the legendaries, we've got new exclusive firmware that is exclusive to UVH6. This is Skillcraft. It gives you skill damage, skill crit chance, and tier 3 dealing skill damage increases skill damage dealt by 2% for 10 seconds. Max of 25 stacks, which is pretty crazy. Right off the rip, for Harlow, this is going to be awesome because you're constantly doing skill damage. Whip Amon could be really nice with this. Rafa's AFK Rafa just got a huge buff with this. I actually haven't checked the rest of the notes. I don't know if they nerfed anything. But yeah, super cool. And then in your gameplay, they made Immortal Boneface no longer immortal. I was seeing a lot of people posting about that. Let's see, what else do we get? there's a bunch of kind of like random, just like bug fixes, in particular with like SDUs not working properly. One of the bigger ones is that they removed phosphine challenges from legendaries that were not meant to have them, like the Sweet Embrace and the Cold Shoulder. So it should be easier now to get that like phosphine skin unlock. Then when you get to gear, in gear, there's a lot of changes. Some of the big ones to call out are the legendary Midnight Defiant sniper rifle with Jacob's license parts are going to be more reliably ricocheting on critical hits. They kind of killed the Midnight Defiance a bit with their change to Jacob ricochets, so now this is going to be stronger. Bullets to Spare now works with COV magazines. The other kind of like big ones are they prevented the legendary Super Soldier Shield from regenerating heavy ordnance with the Power Play passive. So that shouldn't be really your go-to on ordnance builds anymore, which is interesting. They updated the Hellfire SMG to correctly apply its intended damage increase. There's been a bunch of weapons that have like been terrible, and then they give it this dev note, and all of a sudden they become insane. Like the Dark Beast basically had this exact note. So the Hellfire SMG might be really good. It's really hard to tell from these kind of notes, but definitely keep an eye out for the Hellfire SMG. The Rooker sniper rifle now spawns the correct amount of needles. I'm imagining this means that it no longer creates multiple projectiles with Jacob's ricochets. So it should still hit for the same amount of damage, but it's not going to end up shooting one projectile and ending up with 16 after you've crit a few times with it. So that should definitely be significantly weaker. Then we get to Vault Hunters. Prevented an exploit that unlocked Vault Hunter skills earlier than intended. I'm imagining that's the like infinite skill point thing. New characters no longer inherit SDU points from previous characters. New characters no longer inherent SDU points for previous characters. What? Shouldn't it be the opposite way around? Amon and Rafa's elemental stats now show the correct values when skipping the prologue. Shield Boy from the T-Tier Legendary Principle has been updated to allow Rafa's Apophis Lance skill and Vex Incarnate skill to fire through it normally. Cool. Apparently there was a bug that you could like skip the prologue and then just get all of your SDU points. So I guess they bug fixed that. All right, here's what we're looking for. Trouble, Reapers, and Forge weapon changes. Oh, please don't leave out Blue Tree Harlow. Dev note, companions aren't quite hitting the benchmark we'd like them to be performing at, so we're starting with making them more reliable in a variety of ways. We'll be keeping an eye on how various summons are performing and making more adjustments as necessary. Trouble now has a blink melee attack that will occur every 12 seconds if it is too far from the target, causing them to immediately teleport and attack. This should make Trouble much more responsive in the heat of combat. W change. Trouble, Reaper, and Forge weapons have also gained increased damage radius to make them more reliably damage enemies. This is fantastic. I actually sent Gearbox a clip of me having all of my Forge drones out on Amon, and they were chasing one Psycho the entire time. The Psycho was chasing me, my Forge weapons were chasing the Psycho, and they could never damage it because it was moving. And the Forge weapons had to stop to attack. So they could literally just never damage the Psycho. My whole skill tree was invalidated by a single enemy. So hopefully this means that when you have moving enemies, the Reapers, the Forge weapons, and Trouble can actually handle them. I'm hoping that the radius is way higher. Then we've got Amon. Tempered Pyre deals 20% more damage. Tempered Ice deals 23% more damage. Tempered Lightning deals 13% more damage. All right, I will say I was hoping for bigger buffs. We'll see how that plays out with the also like UI or the companion AI things. Updated Harlow's potential transference capstone to allow the Adrenaline Pump rep kit to trigger as intended when Second Wind is earned in multiplayer sessions. Not what I was expecting for Harlow. Rafa updated Permylast to prevent it from unintentionally behaving as an overdrive skill. Ooh. That's a little bit of a nerf. Only to very specific builds that were using that, like Ranger Rafa and stuff, were not benefiting from that. Permylast was the thing that would allow your action skill to hit multiple times. You could scale it with the driver, or sorry, not with the driver, the Dancer class mod, which would allow it to get to like 250% chance to hit again, which would then multi-hit, which was crazy and was doing really weird things. The Daedalus legendary Ludi Madlot SMG now interacts properly with the Exo Soldier action skill Apophis Lance. Previously, the weapon could stop consuming ammo and firing despite showing the firing animation. Vex Treble range attacks now also benefit from melee damage. Interesting. That's cool. Blink Strike deals 14% more damage. Violent Outburst does 11% more damage. And Hexus Nexus does 14% more damage. All right, once again, like, the changes up above sound good, but I feel like Trouble needs way more than, like, 14% more damage. These are very, very small buffs. This is our third patch of Trouble buffs, and each buff's been, like, 10% more damage. Okay. I mean, I'll play around with it, but, like, off the gate, like, this isn't like, oh my god, I have to jump on a Trouble build, which is what I think these patch notes should be doing, especially because we're only getting major patch notes is like once every month. Like, we used to get buffs like every week in BL3, and so these buffs and these changes need to actually do something. So, like, the actual, like, companion AI and it being able to blink strike constantly sounds great, but if it's not dealing enough damage to be worthwhile, you know, we'll see. They did a bunch of split screen improvements, visual and audio changes. I'm not going to go through all of these because they're a little bit more miscellaneous. There's also some player experience improvements for black screen situation that was happening on Xbox and PS5. Frame rate with the Flame Blast Underbarrel Shotgun. Minor update downloads now stop correctly when signing out during the download, and titles and Windows usernames containing special characters now restart correctly after installing a minor update. And then a note from the dev team. Over the past few months, the team has been investigating how to deliver the best runtime performance possible with Borderlands 4. Since launching, we've discovered a number of fixes that deliver noticeable frame rate boosts. It sounds like my fire alarm is going off. I should check on that. And reduce stuttering without making sacrifices in visual quality. Some of these fixes are improvements to our code or content. Other fixes come from later versions of Epic's Unreal Engine. See below for more details. However, we still have much more to do here. We're in this for the long haul, and over the coming months, we'll roll out even more performance improvements. We appreciate the community's feedback and your patience. So they've done a lot of, like, optimization, improved performance, additional improvements for min-spec PCs. Okay, these are not things that are coming in the future. These are things that happened today. Improved performance of foliage, reflection. Hopefully the game is running a whole lot better. And then we've got our weekly big encore, which is Bio Bulkhead. Weekly wildcard mission is Her Flaming Vision, which is dropping the Katagawa's Malawan sniper rifle. A very good sniper rifle. And Maurice's Black Market vending machine has moved. For the location of Maurice's Black Market vending machine, you're just going to want to travel over to the Frantic Scroll and then run over to the Ascension Plaza. Once you get to kind of like this ramp that you would go like normally left in the story, just stick right by these trees. Go through here, and then you will find Maurice's hiding out. I haven't looked at mine yet. Let's see what we got.
A mighty hunter needs mighty
We got a Principal Shield and a Gore Master. Bleh. Okay. Guys, that's going to do it for the video and the breakdown. I put out a video yesterday of all of the builds I'd recommend for fighting Bloomreaper. So if you haven't played in a while and you're looking for a build to put together for this fight, I put those out yesterday. I'll have that linked in the description. Overall, I think this patch with like adding True Mode, UVH6, Bloomreaper should hopefully be a substantial boost to Endgame as well as UVH6 exclusive firmware. I will say, just by the eye test, I'm a little bit disappointed by the actual balance changes. I don't think they need to like really jump on any nerfs in particular. There's definitely some items that stick out, but we haven't had any really like nerfs yet, which I think is fine. But there's so many things that are still really needing buffs, and I'm really disappointed to not see a single like Blue Tree Harlow buff. So unfortunate there. And the buffs just by the eye test to like Amon's Green Tree and like Trouble, I don't know. They don't jump off the page as like being really exciting. I like the UI. I like the Trouble's not going to deal melee damage, but there's not like that many ways to like crazy scale melee damage. Like it's not like we're playing BL3 where I can give Trouble the Unleash the Dragon and now all of a sudden Trouble ignites everything because it does melee damage. There's just still like kind of limited options for scaling melee and melee builds. So hopefully I'm wrong. We will be playing all those buffs, but yeah, just off of the eye test, not super impressed there. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the raid boss. I'll have more content on that as well. Take care. Peace.